Thanks for coming out. Obviously, I've paid attention to Drake athletics and specifically Drake basketball and the amount of coverage that they've received over the years. So we appreciate it from a media perspective, and appreciate trying to get out and be the hometown team for Des Moines. Specific to our team this year, obviously we have 12 on our roster right now, 10 of which are new to Drake. Two guys returning, Nate Ferguson and Andrew Aaliyah, have done a great job of really acclimating the rest to what Drake basketball is all about. And then the other 10 have done an excellent job of coming in and competing, getting ourselves to a high level in a very short amount of time, and really buying into what we're doing from a culture perspective early on in this season. So any questions in regards to that, to anything with the team, anything in regards to what's going on, anything at all?
Sure. Can you highlight who you think that key players are going to be for you?
Yeah, so right now our practices are very, very competitive. I would say all of them are right there. I would say some of the guys that came with us from Northwest, Bennett Sturts had a really good summer, good preseason up to this point. Obviously, we recruited quite a few transfers as well, but guys that you wouldn't necessarily think would be probably Bennett. Isaiah Howard's a freshman, had a really good summer into the preseason. He'll hopefully by semester work his way into that lineup pretty consistently. And then Andrew and Nate have done a great job of really showing us what Drake basketball is about. So I try not to highlight too many individuals. I guess that's part of my deal, because we don't really have our lineup set up to this point. But everybody that's come in has been great for us. Yeah, I guess I'm a little different in that respect. I think ultimately that's a result, and obviously preseason polls don't really matter. It's the first time that a team that we've coached has been not picked first in 10, 11 years. And so I don't think that you ever necessarily want to be picked fifth, but you want to make sure that you try your best to finish first at the end of the season. So it's like when I was in college, we made goals, I remember, and from my old coach, Coach Tapmeyer, and they said, one of the kids came up and he said, "Hey, I'd love to finish 25-5. And Coach Tap goes, "Well, which 5 are you going to lose?" And it was like, okay, so yeah, it's fifth grade. I mean, maybe it just shows some respect for what Drake's done and some of the kids that we did have in our program. But ultimately, your objective is to try to finish first place. It doesn't mean you necessarily attain that result, but your process should show that you're trying to reach that spot. So I don't know that you're happy necessarily. I guess I've never really been concerned with what your preseason picked.
Coach, I heard that you spent a lot of time, or some time, talking with Josh Schertz about Indiana State and their rise from D2 to D1, and how they accomplished it quickly and successfully. What were some of the takeaways that you got from camp that night? What did you hear?
Yeah, I've picked a lot of people's brains. Josh, when he first took the job, and it was probably a month in, and this happens to anyone every time they take a job. It's overwhelming in college basketball. And so, there's naturally that point of, man, did I make the right move? So I talked to him that whole first season and some of the mistakes that he made and some of the things that he did well. And, the big takeaway that him, Grant McCaslin, another one of my good friends, he obviously coached at Division II for a while as well. The big takeaway is to not overthink some of the things with the level. It still is, get competitive kids, make sure that they're connected, develop a culture, and and that's what wins games. And so even coming to Drake and bringing kids from Division II, you think, oh man, can Division II guys play at this level? And honestly, sometimes you think that as a coach when you're moving to the mid-major level. And part of Josh was take more than you think. Take more players than you think, and he probably would have suggested that we even took more, because I think his first year he took 3 or 4 high major transfers and none of them really played. And then the next year he actually took Swope, who's a Division II transfer. And then I think this year they still had Bledson, they had Cavassier who played for him, they had Cam Henry, and all those were guys that played for him at Lincoln Memorial. So that was the big takeaway with the transition. You know, coaching wise, there wasn't a huge difference. He thought that at Division II, because of the variety of lineups that you get, because you don't necessarily get to pick your team, meaning a lot of times it's what the Division I's don't want, essentially. And so you have to adjust to your personnel consistently. He thought that would really benefit me at this level, being able to adjust to your personnel quickly.
I think you said when some of them met with you that Garrett was helping you kind of figure everything out around here. Now that he is part of it, who's kind of filled that role, and where are you at as far as just kind of being a little more comfortable here at Drake?
You know, I mean, the coaches here, like Brian did an unreal job outside of myself, but no, of hiring really good coaches. I mean, they have some of the best people, not just coaching wise, but just people that are easy to work with. And it makes your acclimation period a lot smoother. And so obviously Garrett initially helped us figure out, okay, we go to this person for this person for that, this person for this. And then after that, it's just, again, like you've got some of the best coaches, you know, at the mid-major level or in the country and in every sport here, which makes it really nice and allows you to acclimate very, very quickly.
Coach, you finally had some outside competition here recently. What did you learn about your team from that scrimmage? Positive, maybe something you need to work on?
Positive-wise, I think it was good for our guys to see and compete against a Power 5 and see that they can compete with some of the better teams in the country. I think from a negative perspective, I think it's just a lot of little things that you're just trying to improve, whether it's, hey, we forgot to cover when a team posts up, how do we post double? How do we dig on the post? How do we rotate out of that? Stuff like that, just little tiny nuances. But the biggest takeaway was, hey, we can compete. And it does matter that we've had guys that have played together for a lot of years. That does make a big difference. And it actually helps the transfers acclimate a little bit quicker to what we want to do from an offensive and defensive perspective. And that just showed that. That just backed up what we already knew, which was great for our guys. And it was just a great trip, great team bonding.
Yeah, along that same line, you brought 4 guys with you from Northwestern. 3 are grad transfers, so that age, you touched upon some more about how that age has helped you with this transition.
Yeah, and it's not even age. It's just the fact that they've been in the program and they understand what winning habits are. They understand how to be ready every single day. They understand energy. They understand the connection amongst teams. They understand how to act in a pro manner. All those different things. It's not age. Everybody says, hey, you want to get older, you want to get older. No, you want to get more experienced. No, you want to get guys that are emotionally mature, whether they're transfers or they're high school kids or whatever, so they can get themselves to a high level consistently. And those guys have done that for quite a few years, so they know what to expect. So naturally, they've developed those habits of being everyday guys, and then they've shown others how to do that as well.
I'm sure this is a question you've gotten repeatedly, but how vital is Ferguson that it just kind of meshes everything together?
Yeah, and him and Andrew, obviously, you know, I think it's probably more difficult than people realize to be the one or two, the two that stick around. And then on top of that, you've had a lot of success doing things a certain way, and now we're asking you to do them a little bit different. And they have both been fantastic, and both have bought in very, very quickly, even quicker than some of the other transfers that have come in. And so it's meant a lot to us. I told them this story after the exhibition versus Texas Tech, and there's always a time, like I'm staying at one of my good friends' houses in Bondurant. I was for quite a while, and you'd get there at like 7 a.m. in the morning, and then you'd go back at like 8 o'clock at night. You're questioning life. You're not away from your kid, not questioning your life, but questioning, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? And specific to those two and the rest of the team, then the whole team came back, and Nate came in and said he wanted to stay, and Andrew said he wanted to stay, and it just kind of started to snowball those things. And so we come back for the summer, and it's like, okay, this is fun. We can do this. The kids are around. This re-energized me from working all those long hours and trying to figure things out. And obviously those two were a big part of that, getting kids to stay and getting kids in here and saying, hey, we can do this, and having fun with it.
Are there any pieces of the culture that those guys were a part of with Darren that kind of carried over? Anything noticeable, at least, that carried over to the team?
I mean, outside of the expectation to win is probably the main thing. They know how to work, that sort of thing. I think when there's only two, it probably makes it a little more difficult to really impact it to that level, to carry over. But there is an expectation to win. Like they've won. And so I would say that would probably be the biggest thing. And the understanding of how to work, both of them understand how to work.